Today, we're unlocking something truly amazing, nature's pharmacy. We're going to explore how some of the most powerful medicines we have don't actually come from a sterile lab. Nope, they're hidden all around us, in the leaves, flowers, and roots of plants you might see every day.
So let me just start with a wild question for you. What if a flower, maybe one you have in your own garden, held the secret to fighting one of the world's deadliest diseases? I know it sounds like something out of a movie, but as we're about to find out, it is 100% true.
Take a look at this. This is the Madagascar periwinkle. And, for centuries, people just saw a pretty flower. But hidden deep inside its cells are chemical compounds that would go on to totally revolutionize cancer treatment. We're going to circle back to this incredible plant in just a little bit.
All right, so let's dive right in. Our journey is taking us into the world's oldest and most diverse laboratory, nature itself. We're basically going on a hunt for the active ingredients, these incredibly powerful chemicals that plants have spent millions of years perfecting.
Okay, so the first group of chemical superstars we need to talk about are called alkaloids. What makes them so special? Well, it's that they all contain nitrogen atoms. And that one simple fact, that's often the key to their powerful and sometimes really dramatic effects on the human body.
For our first case study, let's look at what is probably the most famous and, let's be honest, infamous medicinal plant in all of history, the opium poppy.
And a problem this plant solves? It's one of those fundamental challenges in all of medicine. How in the world do you control severe, agonizing pain? I mean, for thousands of years, this was the question.
And it turns out the answer was found right here, in the unripe seed pod of the opium poppy. The process is actually pretty simple. If you score the capsule, it bleeds this milky latex. You let that dry, and what you get is opium, a substance just packed with those powerful alkaloids we were talking about.
And the absolute king of those alkaloids is morphine. It was first isolated from opium way back in the early 1800s, and it is still one of the most effective pain-relieving drugs, or analgesics, ever discovered. It is the real deal. But here's what's so fascinating. It really shows the two sides of the coin with these potent compounds. The therapeutic uses are just incredible. You've got pain relief, sedation, and its chemical cousin, codeine, is a fantastic cough suppressant. But the side effects are serious. We're talking respiratory depression and constipation. It's an unbelievably powerful tool, but one you have to respect. Okay, remember that beautiful pink flower from the beginning? Let's get back to it. I asked if a common garden plant could treat cancer. Well, it's time for the big reveal.
The Madagascar periwinkle, or vinca, is the source. Scientists put this plant through an intense process, from chemical tests to microscopy, to unlock its secrets. And the goal of all that work was to extract a specific type of chemical called an indole alkaloid. And what were they? They turned out to be microscopic cancer-fighting machines.
The impact was just astonishing. Scientists pulled two major compounds from this flower, vinblastine, which became a key drug for treating Hodgkin's disease, and vincristine, a cytotoxic compound, which literally means it's toxic to cells, specifically cancer cells, that was so effective it transformed the treatment of childhood leukemia. I mean, just think about that leap for a second. From a simple garden flower to saving kids' lives. It's amazing. All right, let's switch gears, removing from alkaloids to another, equally important class of plant chemicals. We're going to talk about the beautiful and deadly foxglove and its incredible connection to the very rhythm of life itself.
The medical challenge this time is totally different, but just as critical. What do you do when the heart muscle itself just starts to weaken and fail? We're talking about congestive heart failure.
So meet the foxglove, or Digitalis purpurea. Every single part of this plant is potent. For centuries, folk healers knew it could help the heart, but they also knew it was incredibly poisonous. Getting the dose right was literally a matter of life and death.
The secret here is a completely different type of compound, cardiac glycosides. Now, unlike alkaloids, these chemicals have this unique ability to act directly on the heart muscle, and they increase the force of its contractions. Plain and simple, they make a weak heart beat stronger.
This perfectly captures that whole plant-to-pill journey we're talking about. On the one hand, you have the complex chemistry of digitoxin, the raw compound straight from the plant. And then through science, that gets refined and standardized into the medication you see here, digoxin, a precise, life-saving tablet that has helped people manage heart failure for decades.
But, hey, these powerful plant compounds aren't just for these huge life-or-death situations. They're actually all around us, in things we use every single day. Let's do a quick lightning round to see where else nature's pharmacy pops up. First up, your morning cup of tea or coffee.
That get-up-and-go feeling you get, that comes from caffeine, a purine alkaloid. It is the most widely used psychoactive drug in the entire world, and yep, it comes from a plant.
How about that aloe vera plant you might have on your windowsill for sunburns? Well, its active ingredient is aloin. That's a glycoside that gives the plant its powerful purgative or laxative properties. And even your spice rack holds secrets. The active ingredient in clove is a volatile oil called eugenol. It has anesthetic properties, which is exactly why people have used clove oil as a folk remedy for toothaches for generations.
So all of this brings us to the really big picture. We've seen plants that can give us painkillers, cancer treatments, heart medications. So what does the future hold? What's still out there left to discover?
The simple truth is, we have only just scratched the surface. It's like the tip of the iceberg. The poppy, the periwinkle, the foxglove, these are the famous ones, the big discoveries. But they represent a tiny, tiny fraction of the potential medicines that are still hidden in the vast plant kingdom. And that leaves us with a final, fascinating thought to chew on. With millions of plant species across the globe that have never been analyzed, what future cures for cancer, for heart disease, or for illnesses we haven't even encountered yet are out there, right now, just hiding in plain sight, waiting to be found?